What's going on YouTube? AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock here with another episode of Unlocking the Week, episode 73. I'm going to start things off with the local results that happened at Game On this past weekend for both Future Card Buddyfight and Cardfight Vanguard, especially the sneak peek for the latter for Waltz of the Goddess and Requiem at Dusk, the new extra booster support for Genesis and Shadow Paladins respectively. And then we're going to be diving into the video content that you'll be seeing for this week, at least from my end. Henry will also have his own schedule. He'll explain it in the videos that he'll upload with his trade binder videos or his King of the Ring videos. And then we're going to be concluding this episode with the latest Cardfight Vanguard with Ride 200 or GTurn 4. So let's start off with the local results. This past Friday, I wasn't there. There may have been a singles or tag team tournament. So if you were a Game On this past Friday, feel free to comment down below with actually what took place besides the sneak peek for Waltz of the Goddess / Requiem at Dusk. And what I knew on that day, Arturo bought almost the rest of the Shadow Paladin sneak peek bricks. I know that Joe picked up a few, and I think another person may have bought a brick, but Arturo bought out almost everything to get ready for the national tournament that's going to be taking place in Chicago next weekend. And then we go on to Saturday, where we had actually a back-to-back Buddyfight tournament. I wasn't able to get the second round of results for the one that took place after the first one. So if you do know who entered and who topped, comment down below with them as well. I ended up going with the Legend World, Widest Circuit, Gorgon, Waifus. Going into a 4-round, we had 11 to 12 people, so 4 rounds of Swiss, top 4 cut. First round I went up against Eric, and he was running Dragon World with an interesting Armor Dragon / Thunder Knight build. It actually ran Roaring Slash Gargantua Punisher, so with Thunder Knights you can build a gauge pretty easily and really set up for Roaring Slash in a very quick manner. Especially when you have, Drago Knuckle and, Blue Dragon Shields. It's easy to hit 5, and then once you give them down to 5 damage, it's really something because it's just halfway. And Rolling Slash really put in a lot of work. The first 2 games that we played together, I know that Eric won because he was able to punish his hand power, and I didn't have any attack nullifiers. So I really had no answer to him just attacking face all the time. And I just pretty much lost out to that. Game 2, I managed to have spell nullifiers when it did count. So, especially when he would either drop shields or drop, maybe Drago Energy or even some, even Drago Genius. Whatever spells or key spells I have, I would end up negating. And then I would also utilize, of course, Medusa to pop those size 1s and really save myself an attack from, another one of them. Because, of course, dealing 2 damage each, you fill up the field, you deal 6 damage in 1 turn. That's pretty crazy. And then you also have, oh man, the evolved Gal formation. They come out, and that's gonna be even sillier to deal with. But moving on to game 3, it was really a fact that I had to probably just look forward to see if there would be a Thunder Knights formation on the field. I actually didn't expect Roaring Slash Gargantua Punisher to come out until he actually played it. So I was like, oh, dang, I really need to have monsters in the center next time. I guess my really one problem was Asgard is just the odd person in the deck. I don't know if I should gauge him. I don't know if I should play him. Because whatever the case may be, even though I have to gauge, it doesn't really help me that, Fenrir is just such, I don't know, a lost card in some respects. It's just weird. So I'm thinking of maybe altering the deck to see what I could do. Because, I don't know, it's really just, okay, Gorgons or Water Suckers. Whatever the case may be, it just seems a little bit off, and so I'll have to do some re-edits to the deck. Round 2, I went up against Burns with Ancient World, and with Game 1, he got me with Seeger, and I couldn't do much because he had Seeger. And round 2, he didn't get Seeger out. I was able to utilize the Gorgons and get rid of the monsters that he had. And he had to use, the size 2, 1, 0 monsters in order to have a body out on the field. And the thing is, though, they have lifelink, so they even take more damage on top of that. And I managed to win game 2. And then round 2, at round 3, this was after I cited in all my hate cards against the Ancient World. Because, of course, there's so many with, Beowulf and the Dragon Vanquishing Sword. I even cited in, like, a Valkyrie and Grendel, just so I can have, Death Curse to at least put more pressure on, Seeger. Or at least even prevent him from coming out. And he wasn't able to get it. He didn't get the Searcher. He didn't get much draw power out of it. It was really upsetting. So I managed to win against him. And then round 3, I went up against Modesto, and he was running, of course, Gorgon Waifus as well. His build was a little bit different. He managed to 2-0 me because He was very smart in utilizing his breathing guards because, of course, when you're in a Legend Wall mirror match, no matter what build you have, breathing guard is one of your staple cards, and it is so useful. And you don't want to see like, do I want to breathing guard this, to breathing guard that, and then utilizing that new ruling, well, I guess new ruling to me, but the ruling where even though breathing guard is in your drop zone, you have berserk guard in there. All right, pay 2 gauge, discard card, boom, you get breathing guard back to your hand. You immediately get rid of a dead card for 2 gauge and utilize breathing guard back in your hand, putting more threat on the field. And even though you lose 2 gauge out of it, Legend Wall can generate gauge quite a bit with the staff, with Zraltug. There's a lot of different plays you can actually make, and really put a mind game into the opponent, thinking, all right, one of my spells is going to get nullified. I have to figure out what in the world will that be. So the last play of game 2 that he won against me, he did the skill to get Breathing Guard back to his hand, and so I was stuck with either wondering, okay, do I want to activate Symbol Guard and have that get canceled, or I want Holy Grail? And thing is, though, I had if I use Holy Grail and he Breathing Guard it would have been game for me anyways because he had Grendel out. So he had double attack. I was at 3. I was pretty much at 1 life or 2 life even. So I was gonna be dead either way. So I want to see what else I can fish out, and I wasn't able to get a monster in response. But the surprise factor was after I got Grendel rid of with a link attack, I actually saw the size 3 jellyfish monster with a penetrate and crit of 4. For 2 gauge, that's pretty broke, and I should have looked forward more to actually that monster. So that was a tad bit crazy there. And then going to round 4, it was me against Jason. We were both 1 and 2, so even if one of us would win, nobody tops. So he just gave me the win, or I don't know, we played like rock paper scissors or something. It's kind of didn't feel like playing at that point. So I don't know. I just told him like, all right, I'll take the win, and then I go 2 and 2. But of course, it was more like 1 and 3 because it wasn't really an actual win. The 4 people that managed to top though were Dex. He topped. I think I saw Armor Knights in terms of Danger World. Archero with Jackknife. I saw Eric with the Armor Dragon Thunder Knights. And 4th, I think I saw Adam with Dungeon World Hybrid. So he had 2 dragons, a Danger, and a Dungeon World. I think either that or it was 3 dragons and a Dungeon World. So it's good to see Team Gradelock take some top spots there. And I don't know, it was good seeing what I got too, because the promo I got my 2nd Valkyrie, so I need 2 more in order to even do anything. Because I'm honestly thinking of picking up heroes, because, you know, that was my initial build when I went on go into there. But of course, you know, Gorgons were also interesting because they had great, you know, anti-aggro pressure with Medusa. They have double attack pressure with Uriel, and they have a pretty beefy sized one in the form of Steno with, you know, 3 crit of 1 and 6. I just wish that a lot of my monsters they did more than 1 damage, because that was my key concern with that. In terms of moving on to the 2nd tournament, I just know there are only like 5 or 6 people that entered, so I'm not sure what the results of that were, so pretty much keeping the results a little bit short. As for the sneak peek, I bought maybe like 2 or 3 sneak peek packs. I actually pulled pretty broken in all 3 of them. I should have did the box pack opening for that, but I had to get home early because of course, you know, family needed the car. But I was able to pull out, you know, Witch Perfect Guard. Got some grade 3s for the witches. It was all Genesis. I didn't see any CEO Yggdrasil because I can't believe she goes for 35 to 40. That's CBD pricing when he first came out. And I know Jason pulled 2. I saw Frank pull 1. So I was thinking, I didn't see a Legion rare yet. And when Arturo bought out all the Shadow Paladin packs, there was no Legion rare. So that's pretty tense. I'll be looking forward to see if I can get into a Vanguard tournament next week with Daikaiser, or at least a Legion deck, because I do want to actually make that CEO Legion. The thing is, I'm going to need, you know, Susanu's and other, you know, support for that. I know I still have my core Tsukiyomi deck, so I can splash that in and make, you know, a legit Legion deck, so I can just keep following up with this brand new meta. And a lot of people are really liking the Legion format compared to Limit Break, Break Ride, because you can do stuff faster. You don't have to worry about, you know, anti-limit break strategies. As long as you see 4 cards in the graveyard, boom, you just put them all back. Or if you want to be really good, you just wait till you have 4 triggers in the drop zone. Before I'm Legion, you're pretty good to go. As for the future, I know that this upcoming weekend, a lot of us will going to be heading over to Chicago for the national championships. I know that Burns and Arturo, both who topped in their respective games, Arturo with Buddyfight and Burns with Cardfight Vanguard, they're going to be heading over to Chicago. I'm not sure who else is going to be going with them, and maybe Jenna or Joe or Henry or CK. I think they're probably gonna make plans to head over there. So I'll look forward to see what they can do, and see if they can record anything, vlog potential, or even a match, or even just what's been going on at Nationals, especially now that there's a tournament after Nationals leading up to Worlds. So they take the top three, of course, from North America, from Europe, and from Asia, and then I don't know what type of event it's going to be. It's probably going to be really good. I'll look forward to it. And now let's move on to the video content you're going to be having for this week. Henry might have his own agenda. He might upload a video or two for this week. I know that with the new Legion format coming in next week, he's probably going to be doing a King of the Ring segment. If not, I'll see if I can follow up with him to see if he can do something like that. Because Legion format is going to have a pretty big impact on what a lot of people are going to be playing, especially with not only Nationals are coming this weekend, but now the Legion campaign is happening, in which that if you buy 5 booster packs, or if you buy a trial deck, you get a Legion pack that comes with one of 5 or 6 clans. Of course, you have Great Nature, Murakumo, Angel Feather, Mega Colony, Royal Paladins, and I think Naokami or something. But they do have Legion units for those respective clans. So it is pretty interesting to see that. I do like the fact that you're encouraging people to buy booster packs because you're getting some exclusive cards along with that. And then you have the one of 3 different Grade 3 Legion packs with CEO, Alfred, and the other one. I like how I just say the other one like that, but if you haven't been to your local in a while, you should see some of the promotional posters that they have up there of it. And you can also resort to the Facebook page or the Cardfight Vanguard official website for more details on that Legion campaign. Because it's going to be a big change, because a lot of people, they might buy boosters, they might actually buy trial decks, just to give them more incentive to get those cards that could be really useful for, the old school decks later on. Because, oh man, once we get into Tag Team Legion, even Tag Team Legion is going to be pretty silly, because you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen there. Since everybody's going to be rushing down, it's going to be a battle, a legit battle, to see who can get to 9 damage first and not lose. So, with the video content, I'm probably gonna put up a trade binder for myself. I'll feature all 3. I'll feature a lot of the trading card games that I play. It's probably gonna be a whole mega trading card game binder video I'll put together. Hopefully, I'll have it up by Tuesday or Wednesday. I do have an exam coming up on Tuesday, so you won't see much video content coming up until then. In terms of a match, I promised you guys last week for the Wade Schwartz match, so I'll just put that match together to see what is it like. I'll put in some commentary if you want. If not, I'll probably just put it up just raw footage. Not really much of a problem. Really depends on how my coursework is going to be, I guess, put on me. And then for this upcoming weekend, we're probably going to record do more matches. I already have a Cardfight Vanguard match recorded between with Henry and Alex, as well as we have the 3rd game finale recorded for the Mega Colony versus the Nova Grapplers. So I'll see what we can do with putting up that video later this week, so we have the conclusion as to who actually won the war. And now let's move on to the episode breakdown in terms of Ride 200 or GTurn 4. So spoiler alert, you haven't seen the episode yet, you can pause the video, go watch that episode, come back right here so we can talk about it. But if not, you can feel free to close out and be on your merry way. So Ride 200 or GTurn 4, Kiba Shion or Shion Kiba, however you want to pronounce it. We get to see a new character now enter the fray. Of course, we've seen some cameos and appearances from him in the past 3 episodes of this season, but this is actually the episode where we get to introduce formally to him. And we leave off as where Chrono was contemplating and reflecting over the last card fight that he had with Koji Ibuki. And after hearing what he had to say, especially during the card fight, it's a lot to dwell on. It's definitely kind of a welcome kick into the whole Cardfight Vanguard community. And seeing how, Chrono would progress throughout the series, it seems that he goes from a person that seems kind of cool to trying to be a little bit less cold. Because, as some of the screenshots will tell you, he has a lot of development to go through. So this clip right here actually sets the tone for the entire episode. The line, "This development is boring because you're inexperienced," is really just something to say, Chrono, you got a lot of work to do on yourself. If you ever want to be on the same level like me, you gotta develop yourself. You have to evolve. You have to do something with this career in Vanguard if you want to make it to the top. And so while this reflection is going on, we see the formal introduction of Shion into the Vanguard universe after a few cameos. We get to see him engage in some fencing practice with dropping that French, as well as basketball games where he manages to make the game-winning shot and all the girls love him. So it seems that everything is really going well for him at this rate. So when we get to the part where these two characters are actually crossing each other's paths, if I may say, it can get pretty hilarious, especially the build-up for it. I guess when Ibuki said you have to develop yourself, I didn't think that he would actually go out and do it physically. This is really reminiscent of how Naoki would act when he would just do shadow boxing all of a sudden and just scream out uppercut. It looks strange, especially when you don't know the guy at all, because it just looked like this guy is trying to just kick somebody's ass, but it's like kicking somebody's shadow. But then we get to see, oh, what am I doing? Well, apparently you're developing yourself in some way, and I guess physically you kind of are, because you are shadowboxing, legitly. But the thing is, though, when it comes to back to reality, it's just saying, oh, I don't think this is the right time or place to actually do this. And while Chrono is silently practicing how to develop himself physically, it seems that going back to where Shion is, he was being approached by, I guess, a fellow lady classmate who was offering him, hey, do you want something to eat? Is that okay? And then his instincts start to kick in, where all of a sudden he feels that something is coming at them, or at least her, in the form of a ball. Looks like volleyball or soccer ball, whatever you want to call it. And then he pulls off apparently something that I haven't seen in quite some time. When Shion pulled off this move by catching the volleyball mid-air when it seems like it was going at a very fast pace towards that lady classmate's head, it seemed that this guy is too real now. The guy plays, he plays basketball, he fences. I wouldn't be surprised that he would do this, but then again, this guy is only in high school. I feel like I'm underestimating him quite a bit, but dear lord, this man, he is just having all the momentum in the world, and he seems to like to be on an unstoppable force, kind of like how Ibuki was, except it's like a younger version of him. And the thing is, Chrono had the unfortunate circumstance of being close enough to be accused of throwing that volleyball at the lady classmate's head, and then the ladies, they end up trying to accuse him and try and berate him and try and get him in trouble. And of course, Chrono's like, whoa, I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me. I wouldn't hurt you. I don't even know you at all. And Shion, being apparently the classy guy as he is, he ends up disproving their theory, saying, hey, I think that this guy didn't really throw this ball at you. And proving it wrong, the girls end up apologizing to him. It seems that this guy has quite an influence on people. Maybe because they think either he's handsome or he's smart, but still, it's quite the influence. I feel like this guy is probably one of the more prominent students at this high school. And so after that little incident, Chrono decides to get back in the card capital too, just to kind of, relax and try and recollect himself. Because especially after that incident, he would reflect over what Ibuki has said to him in terms of character development. And so he says, alright, let's just go back to card capital 2, let's chill out for a bit, and let's take up another quest and level up. And then we get to see that little exchange between Kamui, as well as the next quest that he will take up. And so one of the first things that happen when he walks into the store is that Kamui would hand him a little package labeled Mr. Chrono Shindo. And according to the outline, you get to see a brand new card that is inside. Now, the thing is, before revealing what the card is, you get to see a little bit of a throwback, seeing Naoki and, the Emperor Koche on the view of some of those trial deck boxes. But what do we get to see from this little package? Well, it's a very good card, a stride card by the name of Interdimensional Dragon Chronos Command Dragon. This guy says when he stride and counterblast 2, soul blast 1, you choose a card from your hand, discard it. When it hits the Vanguard, you get to send all of your opponent's rear guards on the bottom of the deck in any order whatsoever. So it was just revealed today, and I gotta say, this is an amazing unit. I'm just studying it right now because this guy is super good for Gear Chronicle. Even if you can only just summon him for one turn, or if you can keep putting on the pressure every turn, it's something that's, okay, I have to perfect guard or overguard this because I do not want to lose all my rear guards. Well, except if you're Gold Paladin or another clan that doesn't really matter about, losing your field because you can just replenish it however you want. And so the quest to embark on for the day involves Kohei O of the Narukami clan. He left behind the card in Tokyo at his grandma's house and he got delivered over to Hokkaido Thing is though, that's an hour and 30 plane fight from what I've searched on Google or Bing. And the card in question being left behind, that's Seal Demon Dragon Dungaree Unlimited. This card, I don't think I've even seen him make a proper appearance in the anime, but just seeing that really rings some bells in my head as to, wow, I'm glad that they finally mentioned it after a good season or so after it was launched. And just when they're ready to get the quest started, and Kamui will be apparently accompanying Chrono again to complete this very interesting quest, unfortunately, we get to see him getting cock-blocked by the store owner right here. And I gotta say, it worked once, but it probably won't work again. And so now that Chrono is going to be flying solo, we get to see him come across the grandma's house in Tokyo, and we get to see him be a little bit more of, say, as his usual self. Comes off as a little bit rude. He doesn't really interact with people on a social level, because the thing is, before he actually left Cardfight Capital, it was actually one of the girls who happened to be one of the main characters would say, please, why don't you act a little bit more friendlier next time? And the exchange that he had with the grandma was pretty funny, especially when he tried to make things alright. Especially when he made like this face, like, huh? Like, I'm just goofy. It's a really goofy looking face, and I don't know. I thought it was quite nice that you get to see him not as usual, like, oh, I'm kind of serious. I don't really know how to make a joke, but I'm gonna try anyways for the sake of character development. And in order to actually get through, to this quest, so he can get the card, complete the quest, send it over to that kid in Hokkaido, and try to see if he can level up to, grade 2. But apparently, with the attitude that he gave off to the grandma, he had to do a few errands, whether it was getting stuff off the roof or weeding out the garden and doing some shopping. It can get pretty hectic. And the thing is, if I was him, wow, it's kind of like doing the quest in, say, World of Warcraft, other quests, because you're doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do for a person unless you're expecting someone in return. Especially, say if you want to level up for experience or get some quest rewards out of it. And in this case, Bushiro did a pretty damn good job as to introducing a whole quest aspect from an MMO and getting into the real world, so people will be a little bit more inspired to do stuff for other people, even if it's for a means to an end. So moving on to what happens next, I gotta say, it was kind of a buzzkill, because all of Chrono's efforts, it seemed like they would almost go to waste. After trying to figure out where in the world the old grandma has been, he ends up going to the backyard and seeing Shion sitting down, apparently eating some snack and drinking some tea, and lo and behold, you get to see that Dungaree Unlimited right on the table, right next to him, and oh wow, sorry, but I got the card first. All your efforts, they're all in vain. And I gotta say, Chrono had to be all like, no, you didn't. And while Chrono is just standing there in bewilderment about just what happened, you get to see the grandma come in and treat Shion as if he was her own grandchild. I don't know what he did, or maybe he just had a way with words in order to charm the grandma into giving him the Dungaree Unlimited right off the bat, no questions asked, just being polite. And Chrono just said, well, even though I did act a little bit rude, I can't believe I had to go through 3 different tasks that one of them you probably could have hurt your back or even worse. And he gets the card right away. And I don't know. It just said, oh, fine, alright, you got the card first, whatever. And then, an unforeseen move, at least on my part, we get to see Shion all of a sudden hand over the Dungaree Unlimited to Chrono. As what Chrono said, it seemed like it would be out of pity. And, because of course, Shion would say that, hey, you were here first, and you sure went through a whole lot of trouble, so I'm going to give you the card right here. And then, when it seems like the two can't really make an agreement, Shion will come up and say, alright, let's have a card fight. And so we go back to Card Capital 2 to have this epic card fight between Chrono and Shion for the very first time. And they actually do draw quite a crowd to this fight, because now we get to see the new clan that nobody apparently ever heard about, the form of Gear Chronicle, with of course the new ace card that Chrono included in that little G zone to stride. We get to see Shion premiere with Royal Paladins. This is the second time in the entire series that Royal Paladin has taken a main secondary approach to a character. Of course, Season 1 we have Aichi with the Royals, Season 2 Aichi with Gold, Season 3 Aichi with Gold, but Corn with Royal, and then we get to see Season 4 where Kai takes up Royal for a bit. And now we get to see Royal come back again, but this time with a brand new character and a new outlook. Because unlike the previous people who held the Royal Paladin mantle, we get to see Shion rep his French fighting technique with fencing. And it was pretty cool the way that he called his monsters out. But getting to the actual card fight, I legitly thought that the game lasted 2 full turns for each player. Because first, when you have Chrono riding, and then already making the attack on the grade 0 that Shion has out on the field, that's pretty broken. Because he already put him at 3 damage. That was a grade 1 rush deck right there. And then what does Shion do? He responds back by riding to what seems to be grade 2 or grade 3. And then dealing, what, 4 damage in 1 turn? I don't know what was going on in the minds of the people that were making the card fight. But dear God, you gotta include a couple of critical triggers there. Or at least people that just didn't care about guarding. They just want to use as much counterblast as possible. And by the time that, when Chrono got his turn for Chrono Jet, and then go into Stride, oh man. Well, I guess it's more 3 turns now, because I do remember Chrono Jet having that ride into Chrono Jet first, apparently skipping grade 2 altogether, or just showing a bit of the grade 2 before riding, and then going into the Stride turn after. And the thing is, though, I thought Shion would have something for him or an answer, but seeing this interdimensional dragon, oh my goodness, just hit a Vanguard, okay, boom, Counter Blast 2, Soul Blast 1, discard 1, return all the rear guards on the field, or at least on your opponent's field, back to the bottom of the deck in any order like that counts. And afterwards, he kind of sacked him for game. I guess it was just a timely critical trigger that he had in hand, or that he drove checked. And Shion, even though he was a bit upset, everybody was shocked. Just, oh my god, I can't believe this guy won with Gear Chronicle. I don't even know what this clan is. How did Shion lose? Well, you just saw the card fight. Apparently there was a lot of sacking involved, and I don't even think Legion can make up for that. Stride has something on a completely different level, and it's starting to slowly grow on me, to be honest. But as we get to see the end of the episode, we see Shion almost make kind of a heel turn to a bad guy approach. When he was in the car with his butler and he was driving, he was saying literally that I was furious. He didn't look like it, but I'm really furious on the inside. He just knows how to keep his calm and collected demeanor. He even has this cool, more in control than Kai did, and that's going a long way. However, this heel turn doesn't come to fruition as he's not really mad at Chronos, so it's not like he holds a grudge. But he's actually mad at himself for losing the fight. And when you're playing a game like Cardfight Vanguard, it can be pretty easy to get mad about it. Whether it's towards yourself for not getting the 1 trigger you need to make a 1 to pass, or mad at your opponent for actually getting the 6 damage heal trigger. Whatever the case may be, Shion had some right to be mad, because I don't think he ever played a deck like Gear Chronicle ever. But I don't think this guy would actually be much of a bad guy after all. Because even though he showed this calm and cool exterior, even on the inside, he's even calm and cool and maybe forgiving of himself too. And that, I really respect the guy for that. I thought that he would just make the obvious heel turn and just have this grudge against Chrono, but it turns out that's not true at all. And I do like that. That's a new thing for me. So, ending the episode breakdown on that, I start to like the series a bit more, and I'm starting to like Stride quite a bit more. I just hope that one day they'll be able to announce skills or do drive checks. Those are the 2 key things I want to see from card fights. From now on, if I can see at least 1 skill going off, or at least a trigger or drive check, I'll be happy. Because you gotta at least have some throwback for the fans of back then. Of course, yeah, you're doing a hard reset on the series, starting with G, and so G turn 1, turn 3, turn 4, etc. But maybe include 1 or both of those things, and have the old fans kind of say, hey, we're glad that you kept us in mind, Bushiroad. So that's it for the episode. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I know that I want to keep these episodes kind of short, but with episode breakdowns especially, they can take really, really long. And with the whole breakdown of the local results that happened, I know that a teammate of ours, John, he wanted me to actually film each round that I had so that can help shave off time of the vlog. But of course, you know, with a vlog that only comes once a week, I want to make sure that I can put in as much content as possible, that I don't have to spread it out over the course of a week. Because thing is, this not really a vlog channel, it's more of, you know, a trading card game channel that features binders and matches and openings. Did I plus on that, etc. So we're gonna see what we can do in order to make this channel better. I know that the projects that we have, the new ideas that we have for some videos in the upcoming weeks are looking promising, as well as the Facebook page. I promise you, the Facebook page will be up by the end of November, and that's a promise. Because all you gotta do is just set aside the admins, and we're good to go. Because the thing is, though, as much as this channel is important, we all have lives outside the channel. I'm really for that because, you know, the game is awesome, community is awesome, I do this for fun, and I do like it, and I see where it's going. But the thing is, though, sometimes you just gotta turn off the laptop and kind of just get out there, just live life a bit. I don't know how that got philosophical for a second, but that's pretty much what I feel right now, especially towards the YouTube channel and the team itself. So that's it for me. I hope that you've enjoyed this week. I've unlocked for you. My name is AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock. I will see you guys next time, and take care.